Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, mostly Steaua fans, because this is the Steaua channel. Today, I'm bringing you another big surprise. And like you guys know that Steaua did a lot of transfer in a whole bunch of sports, but mostly in rugby and volleyball. And four of those, I think, now we have like five new acquisitions in transfer in volleyball. And out of those five, I'm already going to give you four. This is the second one, and I'm going to have two more after that. And as you guys see, I'm faster than the paparazzi and all the media and all the people in Romania, because I caught this guy actually over here where I am, because finally we're going to have an American joining our team in volleyball. Yeah, we have in other sports too, but finally in volleyball we're going to have an American. So and it was easier for me to do this interview because he has the same time zone as me. So today we're going to talk about volleyball. So I'm going to bring you one of our new players. We just got him. It was like a draft, because he's a graduate of Penn State University this year, and he's going to start making his debut in Europe with us. Even though he had like a whole bunch of offers from different places, we're just like happy and fortunate he chose us. And of course, I don't know how much he knows about Steaua, but maybe he knows that's why he joined us, because we're the biggest club in Eastern Europe. And also in the volleyball side, we had 17 domestic trophies and also 5 European finals, 2 Champions League and 3 Cup of Cups. So we're not like an average team. I know it's been a while since we won even the domestic title. Like I made a comparison. I know it's not a good one, but it's actually true. It's like with the Cowboys in the 90s, they haven't won anything. And the same with us, we haven't won since 91. So I know it's a bad comparison, but from another point of view, I always make this comparison because speaking about the Cowboys, that's the team that I cheer for in the United States. Even though I'm in Boston, you could tell I wasn't born here because I like another team from another city. Anyway, this podcast is about volleyball and it's about my guest. So I better stop talking about other stuff. And like I said, we just got him from university, and he has won like a lot of trophies also with men's U.S. national team. He just went into the senior in 2017. He plays for the youth men national team. He won a silver and a bronze medal with the volleyball national team. He also won a player of the year multiple times during the Penn State. And he also won a bunch of other trophies and cups. And we're going to talk and expand more about that during this interview. So I'm not going to mention names and the name of the trophies because I'm going to give him that privilege to say because it's his trophies. So I'm very happy to present you guys and bring you as a great interview. My first American interview, actually. I made a bunch of interviews in English, but with people from other countries. But it's actually my first interview that I'm doing over here with an American person. And I'm very, very happy that he joined our team. And I'm going to stop here with the presentation. Even though I had some other things to say in my head, I just blocked myself for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm so happy about it. So I'm going to bring you guys my special guest today. So without further ado and presentation, I'm giving you guys today Brett Wildman McGehee. Hey, man.
Hi. How are you doing?
Sorry if I was like bubbling during the presentation because I didn't do any journalism or media university or stuff like that. So I'm doing this just because it's my hobby and stuff like that. And I have nobody even to tell me turn your head around or left, right. So I'm always laughing about myself when I'm seeing this interview later on. But anyway, let's get to business. Like I'm saying, the first question is always going back from the roots. So I want to ask you how this your wonderful story started. What was the age when you started to practice this sport that you already have like a career where your professional career is going to start from now? And who discovered you?
Yeah. So first of all, I guess I'm from the United States and I live in Virginia. I started playing volleyball at about 14. I kind of started messing around with the volleyball, and then probably closer to 16 years of age, I started taking it more serious. And then from there, I moved on to play at Penn State University, and I played there for 5 years. And then for the past 4 years during the summers, I've played with the U.S. national team.
Yeah.
So either training with them or being on rosters and going on travel trips with them. Kind of over those years, I've developed my volleyball knowledge and volleyball skills. And it's given me the privilege to be in a position where I can join the team.
Yeah, correct. Now I wanted to ask you, how do you stay with your mental toughness? You know, sometimes when you started, because you started as a teenager, and sometimes it's normal to have like feelings even when you're an older person. You have it from other reasons. But how do you how is your like mental toughness? If you took your while, if you started as an emotional guy, and then through your experience, you started to be like a leader in the locker room at a Penn State, and now I know you're a tough guy, because otherwise you wouldn't be recruited to our team.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing with mental toughness is a major part of it is kind of experience, where I think that you can tell yourself going into a situation that you're going to be tough, but until you've been there, I guess, and kind of seen certain situations and put yourself through it, it's hard to do it actually in the moment. And I've been in those moments, so I kind of know how to handle them from a university standpoint and even from a international standpoint. I've been in big matches, I've been in championships where things have gone downhill in a match, and you got to find a way to turn it around and stick mentally tough. Also, from a leadership standpoint, I was the captain of the team at Penn State for the previous 3 years. So kind of being able to know when to step up and say something, or maybe knowing sometimes when it's better not to say something.
Right. Also, I get like some information. I don't know if it's true or not. That's why I'm going to ask you, in case if it's not, I could change it. Like what I just posted before, I've seen that you were like wearing through the years at number 9 at a high school, and then now you wear 12. I think at one point I found you a picture where you were wearing number 24.
Yep. So
is it any story behind any of these numbers that you choose to wear it, or it was just happening and you just picked those numbers?
So 9 was in high school, or my like very first club.
Yep.
And I think that I just picked it because it was one of the few ones left, and I liked that number the best. And then 12 was my number at Penn State.
Yep.
And that one was pretty much just handed to me.
Oh.
I didn't have much of a choice, but I grew to like that and kind of become attached to that number.
So it's not 9 anymore. Now it's 12.
It's 12 was Penn State, and then 24 was recently for the United States national team.
Oh, for the national team. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Because I thought when you said it was like your favorite, I thought you're gonna pick like 9 from now on. But now that 12 became like your luck. Maybe you're just gonna stick to 12. So what number you gonna have at Steaua? Did they let you have 12?
I believe 12. I'm not positive. Don't quote me.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
If they let you have the number that you want, it means they're really trusting you and they think you're gonna make a difference in our team. And how was the announcement when I'm assuming like our manager or somebody from the club called you or called your family or somebody? How did you get that news, and how did you make the decision? Because when they make the announcement on the Facebook on the club, like I said at the presentation, you had a whole bunch of other offers, and for some reason you pick us up. So what made you make that decision?
Yeah, so it was Coach Bogdan that reached out to me, and I got to talking to him, and he talked to my family as well.
Oh, so I guess he knows about you. Not. Yeah. Okay.
A manager as well, yeah.
Yep.
And then basically talking with him, and then kind of learning more about the club's history. The combination of those two made me realize that it was the right place. And then I just think that the coach and manager and the whole kind of staff is really driven, and they know what they're doing out there, and they're looking to win some championships, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Right. And actually, I forgot to say, I'm going to also have an interview with the coach too, but now he's on vacation, spending some time with his kids. So he told me to try to do it somewhere in August.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that if it wasn't it was no problem if it was the manager, but if it was the coach, then it means you're really going to be like welcome into that club, and they really need you. And if the coach needed you, it means you're going to be like a big piss over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how much did you know about our club in general? And from that time when you got the news to join our team, did you start like Google it, stuff about our history? Because we're like a club since 1947. We used to have a bunch of sections. Now we have like over 40. And volleyball, like I told you, is one of the strongest. We already have like 5 European finals. And how much did you know about this club? Of course, like when you're gonna hopefully you're gonna leave us, like not in the first year, in the next few years when you're gonna leave, you're gonna know more about our club. But how much did you know about our club now? Or maybe that was the thing that made you the decision, because this is like a big club. Like I said, it's the biggest in Eastern Europe.
Yep. Yeah. So right before they reached out and I kind of started to make my decision, I did not know a ton, in complete honesty. And then kind of as I heard about you guys, and the more research that I did, kind of the more excited that I got, because as you mentioned, I guess biggest club in Eastern Europe, and all kind of the history and the pride behind the club really drew me in. And then also the information that you passed along when you first reached out to me was helpful.
Oh, well, I'm very happy to help you with that. But you know how it is. Like, this is the thing that made me so proud to love this club, because it has so much history. That is that saying, like, the more you find out about something, the less you realize you know about the club. Because at this point, we already have over 21,000 trophies and medals in this club. So, you imagine how big it is. If we were starting to talk about each and every one of them, I think it takes like a bunch of lifetimes,
No, it would. It would take you forever, huh?
Like a lot of Olympics, world medal Europeans and stuff like that. So it's like, it's pretty big. And this is my thing. I live this as a fortune, like over there on the YouTube for generations, like from our grandkids of our grandkids. So they will find out what are some names that went through our clubs. So I got people that are much younger than you, and people that are like over 80. So, and I'm trying to reach like all the sports, or as many as I can. And now I want to ask you if you played other positions than the one that you playing right now, or this was your position all the way through your career.
So
And also as an
early,
extension of this question, which position do you think is the hardest to play in volleyball?
yeah. So I guess I always was an outside hitter or receiver.
Yep.
And then in the very first portion of my career at university,
Yep.
I played opposite for a little.
Oh.
Yep. So they put me over there for a little bit, and then as I got more comfortable with receiving and passing and kind of overall ball control, I made the move back to outside or receiving, and ever since then I've been super comfortable there, and that's my role now. In terms of hardest position, I'm gonna have to go with center or middle, just because they have a ton of roles that sometimes go unnoticed, and they work super hard, and they can make or break a match for sure.
All right. Yeah. Now I will give you the chance to talk about your hometown, because that's what I do with all the people. Like they're not Romanian, so I have to do the interviews in English, so people know more about you. And because I'm trying to have this interview also on the personal side of you, like as a human side, because with the Google and technology today, everybody like could type it and see what you did actually, what was some of your achievements. So some of the question will be from like some personal side. It won't be like questions like they'll put you in a bad spot or anything.
Yeah.
So one of them, it's like if you could make like a small presentation about your hometown, and I know everybody will be jealous because Virginia Beach is like everybody knows about beaches in the United States, and people will be jealous of you. And I hope you have a good weather, because over here, actually, everybody knows in the United States that in New England, the weather is changing every hour. So it's been raining here in June and July like it's in England, where I'm in Seattle.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, as you said, and it's a coastal town. So there's a lot of different beaches and kind of like waterways interwoven into the city. We definitely get all 4 seasons still. So in the summer, so right now it is pretty hot, but the falls and winters can get pretty cold actually. Occasionally we get snow here. And then the spring it'll heat back up. But yeah, as for weather right now, it's pretty nice. I think it got up to 80 Fahrenheit pretty often, and it'll occasionally get humid as well. So the air is kind of sticky,
but not as humid as Florida, right?
No, not as humid as Florida.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the days are nice in the summer, but with that humidity, occasionally you do get a thunderstorm in the afternoon. So that rain that you were talking about, we get a decent amount of that as well.
Yeah, correct. What were your like coaches? Because I also put here that you're trained by Coach Pavlik and Ryan as an assistant. What did they say after you graduate Penn State? I'm assuming they're gonna miss you a lot, right?
Yeah. So I was also with Coach McMillan at Penn State. Yep.
Oh, okay.
And then, but yeah, they were sad, but also happy to see me move on to higher levels. I think that over the 5 years that I was there, I built a strong relationship with them, and I learned to trust them and kind of be able to bounce ideas off of them for volleyball, how practice could go, how we could get better as a team. And we won a couple of championships together. So yeah, definitely sad, but they're happy to see me move on to the next level.
Yeah, great. Did you have any majors injury up until this point that kind of like hold you on your career for a bit?
So nothing too major.
Mhm.
In volleyball, typically you get a rolled ankle every now and then, just kind of the nature of the game. And at the beginning of my last season, I had a little bit of a rolled ankle. It wasn't too bad, but I was able to kind of bounce back and recover from it pretty quickly and keep playing. And I think that it taught me some valuable lessons on kind of how to handle some adversity if I ever have to face it. You don't want to face those sort of things, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you how was your the general question, your debut and stuff like that. I'm gonna ask you what was like some of your let's say on quote negative or bad experience like with the volleyball. If you got like hit in the head with the ball, or if you just missed the ball with your hands, or you just jumping and then somebody took your ball from you or stuff like that. Like some, like I said, negative
Yeah,
or
yeah.
bad experience. What were there like those for you, like if they influence you like in a bad way or they made you even tougher? Because I had um, some people that they told me when they had the experience like that, they made them fall in love more with the sport.
Yeah, so I think some of those situations where
Yeah,
you kind of get punched in the nose,
yeah,
and you come back to love the sport even more. I think that kind of tells you, one, that you're in the right profession,
yeah,
and two, that the next time that it happens, hopefully either you know how to avoid that situation, and or you know how to make something good out of that situation instead of walking away like, I don't know, sad or too mad that you got hit in the face. Or, but yeah,
yeah,
I think also sometimes it's good to look at those things from a from a humorous perspective. I mean,
yeah.
you don't want to get hit in the head, but occasionally it happens, and it can be funny at times. But for the most part, you want to make sure that everybody's safe out there too. So
Yeah, correct. And because there's also other sports where um, your height it matters. So have you ever been recruited to other sports that uh, your height matters, like basketball or handball, where it was always this sport? And have you ever played other sports? Or also an extension to this question is like, what are some sports that you like uh, watch? Or like from time to time whenever you like, what are some of your favorite sports in general?
yeah, so I guess growing up in the United States, my first sport was baseball, and that's the
Oh,
sport that I played probably the most when I was young.
wow.
And I was a pitcher, so I think that was able to develop kind of like my shoulder and arm strength to be able to hit a volleyball. But
Yeah,
yeah, in terms of getting recruited and everything, baseball would have been the sport that probably would have gotten me the farthest if. But I made the switch to volleyball because I just loved it so much. As soon as I started playing, I knew that it was the sport for me, and uh, I love playing it. It makes me a competitor, and I'm super driven at getting better still.
yeah,
And then right now, just watching. Um, I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching basketball, and
yeah.
then also if I'm feeling a little bit more mellow or need
Yeah.
just kind of something quiet, I'll watch golf occasionally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Uh, what are some, let's say, some of the toughest opponent that you face it up until this point? I know you're gonna start like it says like the real career from now on after the university, but I'm pretty sure you face some people that maybe you face them like in a multiple occasions, or if you face some people they're already like seniors when you started and now they became somebody. What are some toughest opponents that you face it up until this point as an individual and also as a team?
Yeah. So some of the individuals that I've faced, I mean, shoot, in the training gym and the national team. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll be up against some of the best in the world on a given day. Like you have Matt Anderson, you have
Oh, yeah,
kind of Eric Soji, you have Micah Christensen. all those Aaron Russell, all those top level USA guys that I play against every day. And then in terms of, I guess, other opponents, I played Hernandez, the right side for Cuba, who I've played against him. I've played against Robert Landy. Yeah, so, and then those are some of the top individuals that I've been privileged to play against and learn from as well. In terms of teams, we definitely had some good battles with the national team from Cuba last summer. We had 2 really great games against them. And then this previous season at university, we had 2 awesome games against Hawaii.
Yeah.
We were privileged to go out to Hawaii and play them at their place, and they get a lot of, their fans are very driven and love volleyball, so it was fun to play in there, and we were able to sneak out a win there. And then later in the season, we lost to them in the semifinals of the championship, in another amazing game. So yeah, those are some of the competitors that stick out in my head.
Right. Did you have any, not necessarily like superstitions, but maybe like habits that brought you luck that you do like on the day of the game or 1 hour before the game or stuff like that?
Yeah. Over the years, I can't think of anyone in particular that I've used for years on end, but I'd say I am fairly superstitious. I think it might change season to season or really week to week. If I'm doing something well, and I think that there's maybe a small little bit of something outside that's helping, I'm probably going to keep it that way. Whether it's how I hold the ball when I go back to, or what logo I'm looking at when I go back to serve, or other than that, I kind of trust my preparation and training more so than a superstition, but occasionally they sneak in there.
Yeah. Now the same, like with the question that I didn't ask you about the debut, and I'm not gonna ask you what is your favorite award or title up until this point, because I know all the sports people love all of their achievements, and I know your favorite is going to be the next one, right?
Oh yeah.
And so I'm going to ask you, which one do you think was the hardest to get? Which one do you think you give like 200% over there to get it?
Yes, probably the 2021 conference gold that I won at university. That one was probably the most rewarding or toughest to get. Just because one, that was the season that we had to deal with playing during the pandemic. And so you kind of had to grow as a person, as a team, and it was hard to do so in those situations. And then 2, the final game, the championship match, we faced some adversity as a team, kind of being down a little bit in that match and having to come back. And then personally as well, there's a couple plays where I was cramping a little. I don't know if I didn't have enough electrolytes in me, but or maybe I was taking too many jumps, too many swings, but I was cramping a little bit. And I just remember at the end when we finally won and lifted the trophy, that one felt the best.
All right. Yeah. I bet that's the case. And also I want to ask you, if you have like special preference when it's about the food or like in general, because now you're gonna go like in Eastern Europe, so it's another culture. Also, you go in Bucharest, it's the capital of Romania, so it's the biggest city over there. And also, I don't know if you know, after the World War II, because also Romania is like a Latin language, like French, Spanish, and Portuguese or Italian. And also Bucharest used to be called Little Paris because it has a bunch of like similarities with and you're gonna see a lot of stuff that you might gonna see in Paris because it used to be called Little Paris. So do you have like any special preference when it's about food? Because you know sometimes people go with with their stuff, they don't want to eat anything else, or if they go to a different place, they don't want to try something they never tried, or
yeah. I guess first of all, growing up in Virginia Beach, I do like seafood. Yeah, so
you could get it at the Black Sea.
Yeah, there you go. Fish or shrimp tacos. That's me personally, but I am definitely open to trying new things. I am super excited to get into the city, learn more about the culture, learn more about the history of the foods and everything, and try new things. I'm definitely not one to shy away from something new. Who knows? One of the dishes in Romania could become my favorite.
All right, yeah. And also, Chris, being the biggest city over there, how did they say in New York? If you don't survive, the city is going to eat you alive. And they say the same thing about Bucharest. Do you think you can handle it?
Yeah, I hope so. No, I'm just kidding. I think I can. I've spent some time in Los Angeles. So I've definitely spent some time in cities and city living, and I think that the more you come into it with an open mind, kind of ready to learn how things are done their way, and kind of not get stuck in your own path, that the more you'll learn, and hopefully the more I'll come to love and thrive in the city.
Well, like I said, I hope we could handle it. There's a whole bunch of sports people that came from other countries that they said one of the toughest thing was Bucharest nightlife or stuff like that. So that's why I'm asking you to hold all of your stuff and think about what you're doing. And then if I was over there, I would be honored to be your guy, but I'm over here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Also, I want to ask you now, like people in general, like sports people or people that are famous. When we're getting older, we always think about our periods when we were like teenagers, youth, or like high school or university. And you as a sports person, most of the memories you have it on the training, on the post seasons, or on the half a season between the first half and the second half. If you could tell us like a little like story or a joke or a prank that you guys did between you and your colleagues that happened when you were like training, and of course some of the stuff you cannot tell, so something that you could tell.
Yeah, of course. The first thing that comes to my mind is at university, being in Pennsylvania. It was kind of some mountainous areas, some smaller than others, and we would do this team bonding where we would see how quick we could get up this mountain. And the new guys kind of don't really know why we're climbing up the mountain, because it's normally we do it really early in the morning when it's still dark, and basically just confused why we're up so early and why we're hiking a mountain. But at the end of it, when the sun rises and we get up to the top, there's a beautiful outlook of the town that we lived in and trained in and played in. So it's kind of like we got to run up a mountain, but at the end of it, you kind of got an awesome view of the city and place where we lived and played and studied.
Oh, nice. Also, speaking now about that, you said like the coach was one of the first people that get in touch with you. Did he tell you why did he pick you, like some of the qualities that he was thinking you had it, and were the same qualities that you think you had, or he told you some other stuff that you're good at that you thought you're not? And from your point of view, what you think is your strongest quality, and what are another one that I'm not saying like it's a negative, but the one that you have to like continue like improving?
Yeah. So I think that some of the qualities that he liked in me is that I like to run kind of a quicker offense, and then at the same time, I like to think that my shoulder strength is pretty good. I can hit the ball at some pretty high speeds, and I think my serving and attacking is some of the kind of like best attributes that I can hopefully bring to the team and help the team out in any way that I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say the serve because I see you are ranked number 5th of all time in the history of Penn State, and I've seen all the games in our club last year, and I don't remember any aces from the serve, or if it was just like a few of them. So if you bring any of that, it's definitely going to be a plus for our team.
Yeah, I hope so. Any way that I can help. Yeah, I like to think that I have a good serve and can hit it pretty hard occasionally, and also know where to place it. In terms of something I think I'm good at, but definitely still need to get better is I think you can always become a better receiver, a better passer. Yeah. No matter how good you are, you can always get better, especially the higher level you get in the international level. You always need a pass. That's first and foremost. So.
Oh, okay. Now it's a question that I should have asked you at the beginning, but because the discussion took us from one side to the other, and because of your answers, I was thinking to another question. So this is a question that I should have asked you from the beginning. How was your childhood? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a lot of memories from the childhood, or was just sports for you most of the time?
Yeah, honestly, my childhood was mainly sports. I grew up in a household that was very active. We liked to get out and experience new sports, whether it be baseball or American football.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention your brother that was playing baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was a lot of my childhood was my brother was older than me, so a lot of my childhood was playing sports and trying to see if I could hang up to his level or catch up to him. It was always wanted to compete against my brother to see if I could be better than him, even though he was 4 years older than me, bigger and stronger.
Well, that's not too much. It's not like 10 years. 4 years is nothing.
Yeah. And then other than that, I think the best childhood memories that I have are just being around family. We are very tight as a group and kind of have made great memories, whether that's going down to the beach together or going on a road trip or something along those lines.
Yeah. Oh, speaking about memories and trips and stuff like that, now you're going to start your career as a professional, and you're not going to have too much time to visit. Even when you're going to go with the team playing European places, you're not going to have too much time to visit and hang out in those places. And up until to this point, what's your favorite place, or a place that impressed you, or a place that you wanted to go a lot of times from now on? And what's one of the places that you have it on your list there for to visit in the near future?
Yeah, so I think anytime that I am fortunate enough to spend some time in parts of Southern California, whether that's kind of just north of San Diego or kind of Laguna Beach area. Anytime I'm fortunate enough to get out there, it's kind of in the area that the national team trains. Not really. It would be a drive to get there, but anytime I'm out there, it seems to always impress me how beautiful it is, and the weather is always amazing.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah.
And then
California is much better than Florida.
Yeah. California, they're both hot, just different types of hot.
Right.
Yeah, and then in the future, man, I just I want to explore as much as I can of Europe. I'm super excited to get out to Bucharest and see the city and learn everything there. And then other than that, maybe I know that Greece is close. maybe be
Yeah,
fortunate
and
enough
then
to maybe visit there.
yeah, maybe you're gonna be fortunate to play because last year we play the Olympiacos, the famous team
Yep.
in volleyball, and we play against them. And I know all of the foreign players were impressed with the fans and with the atmosphere that they did, and especially now I want to ask you, how much do you know about our rivals in sports in general in our country? There's a uh, they call like Dynamo, and how much do you know about this rivalry? Because the Canadian guy that I interview, Mark Wilson, that he
Mhm.
retired and he's not playing for us anymore. He just played a single season last year. He said he was impressed with the atmosphere against Olympiacos, but when we play our rivals, he said he never seen any volleyball fans like it was the atmosphere in over there. So I want to ask you, how much do you know about our rivalry and with that team? It's actually in all the sports. This is our rival, so it's kind of like uh, Lakers, Celtics, or
Yeah.
I don't know, Bruins, Montreal, or things like that.
Yeah, so I don't know a ton about it, but I'm looking forward to playing in those big matches and winning those big matches. But yeah, I'm super excited to learn more about it. But right now, I
And
don't know a
like
ton.
we have this thing, like even if you don't win the championship, at least beat our rivals. This is our
Yeah,
theory.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I
and
think those games. I think those games are fun to play, and they get super competitive, maybe a little chippy, and I think those are. I think that's a good thing, and
yeah,
definitely want to win those games.
yeah, because sometimes when we don't win it, we always blame the foreign people that in our team. So they say because they don't know the rivalry. Maybe that's why we never win it. So that's why I'm starting like to prepare you from now.
Yeah, I'll start preparing now. I'll
Yeah,
learn the history, and I'll be ready for it.
yeah. First, you have to know the color. We have red and blue, and they have red and white. So they're like Santa Claus, and we're different.
There you go.
Yeah. Um, Now I want to ask you: are you gonna have uh, a personal assistant, like, or a teacher, or are you just gonna talk in English, or are you considering, or you and your family considering to have like a teacher over there so you could learn Romania? I don't know how long is your contract. If it's 1 year, it doesn't make any sense. If it's multiple years, or if it's something with a 1 or 2 years with an extension, maybe you're thinking about to learn like some words, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna get you to some interviews or our Steaua TV, or in general the press. So of
Yeah.
course at the beginning they're not gonna ask you anything in Romanian, but I'm just saying because I don't know how long is your contract. I'm just saying like for the future.
In the future, I definitely would definitely like to learn more of the language and be able to communicate to the fans and to my teammates and to the people in the city in their own language rather than just English.
Yeah.
If I can get by with English, I mean that's good, but I think it's important to learn the language of the country that you're in and respect the area that you're in. And I think that at the end of it, if I can come out of my experience in Romania, learning more about the language and being able to talk in it, I think that would be an amazing thing for me, an amazing
Yeah,
thing
and
to learn.
maybe when you're gonna leave Bucharest, maybe we're gonna do the second interview in Romanian.
Maybe, yeah.
No,
Hold
definitely.
you can hold me to it. I gotta get good enough to
Yeah,
do
no, don't
to
worry
the
about
second
it. No,
interview. No, I'm kidding.
no.
I'm kidding.
If you ask me, I'm telling you from now, Romanian is one of the hardest languages in the world. English, it's way, way, way much easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're definitely gonna have everything in English there because the coach is from another country, and I think even half of this team at this point from all the other different countries. So definitely all the trainings and everything will be in English. Maybe you when you're gonna hang out, if you're gonna have
Yeah.
um, of your colleagues to be a friend, one of the Romanian people, maybe he's going to start like teaching, and then you have to know some expression. But of course, everything over there is going to be in English because, most. If the coach is not Romanian, then it definitely has to be the language of of you getting around will be English. Now I wanted to ask you if when I ask about the rivalry, did you have any big rivalry when you were at the Penn State, or did you develop any rivalry between the states? What's the rivalry of Virginia's or schools in there, or was it any rivalry between Virginia or Penn State? Or
so I guess volleyball wise and at Penn State, we definitely had one or maybe even two rivals that they always seem to really want to beat us, but we normally got the upper hand. And then those games were super fun to play in just because your rivals, you want to beat them. The Penn State school in general, I would say, has a rivalry with Ohio State or maybe Michigan. Those two schools, and kind of like the basketballs and those other sports are definitely big rivals. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because if you ask me, I don't know too much specific about the sports, but when you tell me volleyball, the first two countries that comes to my mind are United States and Brazil, because I see most of the finals, either it's women or men's. I see it's either final Brazil, United States, or it's one of them in the final.
Yeah. They I know historically they've had some really good matches and really good rivalry games.
Yeah. And did you ever played beach volleyball? And do you think beach volleyball is harder than the one that you're playing, or this one is harder than the beach volleyball? Because I'm thinking the beach volleyball, it's more risky. You might going to get injured like faster because of the sand and stuff, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't have a ton of high level competitive experience in beach volleyball, but I've definitely played in some tournaments and definitely I like to play beach occasionally in the summer. I think it's a good way to cross train. In terms of which one is harder, I think that moving and jumping in the sand is definitely harder than moving around and being able to jump off of the hard floor. I think injury wise, I don't know. I think that sometimes in the sand might be a little softer if you need to land on than a floor.
How was because I've seen I don't know if I already put it. I put a picture when you said you were the best man of the week or something like that, and I also know in 2019 when you played the U21, you got the award of the best scorer. What was that award mean to you? And how did you win it after that again, or is in your next or the near future you want to win a prize like that again, or do you care about the personal prizes in general?
I think it's always nice to get recognized as an individual, but I don't think they're nearly as important as the team titles. I mean, I think that first of all, I'd much rather win as a team and do well as a team than accept any individual award. But at the same time, it can be nice to get recognized for those. In the near future, I just want team championships. I could, yeah. I don't mind.
Right. No, I was just thinking like in general. So maybe you'll be the player of the week in Romania like multiple times, because I've seen you win. You're the fourth 90 line from Penn State that you win like multiple times the player of the year honor in 2020 and 2022. So hopefully you're gonna get some of those in Romania too.
yeah, those were nice to have, and yeah, hopefully I can bring some of those over to Romania.
Right. Which from all of your years in Penn State, which one do you think was the toughest for you? And also, in an extension to this question, uh, did you ever had times when you were like depressed or none of the things were working on that day, and you're thinking of not just like giving up or maybe just take like a rest or something? Were you ever in any situations like that?
So I'd say the hardest year is probably default just that 2021 year where the world was trying to figure out the whole pandemic situation, and you couldn't. I mean, for us, it was hard to even grow as a team because you weren't supposed to be around each other all the time because you weren't supposed to spread the virus or anything. So that was one of the hardest, but also some of the best stories came out of that year because we were still able to pull together as a team.
Oh.
And then in terms of just days that are hard, I mean, it's the nature of sport. Every day you're not going to be perfect, and if you can find a way to make those days that aren't your best still worth something,
Yeah.
then I think then you can move forward from that. Find a way to kind of bring yourself up, cheer yourself up. Even a little thing might help you push you through that day, and you can still get better in practice. You can still get better in the weight room as long as you can get better at one thing that day. Then I think that's a win. If you're feeling sad or feeling down.
Yeah, correct. I want to ask you now about. I also put it, and I think it's rolling through this whole time about your spike and a block, and how much did you improve it from the time when you started up until this point? If you remember how big was your spike in your block, and now I know how much is it. It's like 340 centimeters on the spike and 325 on the block. I'm talking about centimeters because people don't know much about the sizes over here. So that's why I put over there like centimeters and kilos on your weight.
Yeah, we use different metric systems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the pictures that are rolling are almost 4 years old. So some of those I've definitely gotten bigger and stronger over the years at Penn State, and I think that I kind of continue to just get physically stronger, mentally stronger as the years go on. And right now, I'd say I'm at my peak physical, peak mental ability. So I'm kind of ready to get over there and start training and start winning some games.
Mm-hmm. And also, like I said, I have like some like personal question. Maybe when people are going to watch this, and if they are in Romania, maybe this way people will know how to get closer to you and be your friend. Like, what are some of your hobbies?
Hobbies, yeah. So, in my downtime, if I can, if the weather's okay, I've picked up golf recently. I kind of like to be in nature. Other than that, I like to listen to music. I enjoy just a good conversation every now and then. So don't be shy to come up and ask me how my day is, and I'll ask how your day is. I think the biggest thing, if they want to get to know me, is don't be shy. Reach out. I'll be more than willing to talk and kind of grow a relationship.
Right. And our question is like more of a, like assuming stuff, but because you're not in a position to be at the office or to be like a manager or a coach yet, or to rule this sport. But let's just say it was like that movie, God for One Day. Let's say you have the power to change something in volleyball. And what is like a rule that you never liked that you might gonna change it, and what would be like a rule
Mhm.
that you might gonna implement to help the game or the players?
Yeah. Phew. Let's see. I have two ideas of rules that I would change or modify. The
Yeah,
first would be the double contact, so a mishandling of the ball.
yeah,
I think that it gives no advantage to the team that made the mishandling. If anything, it could end a good rally that's going. It could end it early.
yeah.
So I think that going away with that could possibly be one rule that I'd change. I would like to see how it would work out. And then another one would be possibly putting a limit or a cap on missed serves, almost like fouls in basketball, where if you
Yeah.
have too many fouls, you're out of the game. Or maybe if you miss too many serves, you're out of the game. So you have 5 fouls, you're out of the game, or maybe you have 5 missed serves, you're out of the game. I think those could be two interesting ones that I don't know if they would work out, but they could make the game
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, you never know if when you're gonna retire from this game, if you don't want to be like a coach and you might gonna be at the federation, maybe you're gonna have a chance to make those rules. You know.
Maybe, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking about that, are you thinking of when it's going to be the time to retire, which is like many, many years from now? Do you want to stay into the field, or you want to be as a manager, as a coach? Or I know sometimes to be a coach or a manager needs a lot of patience. So maybe
Yeah.
if you don't have a lot of patience, maybe you're going to be in the office.
Yeah. So, first of all, I can't see. I don't know when I would retire. As long as
No,
my
no,
body
I'm
can.
not asking
Oh
you to.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Oh,
not that
yeah,
question
yeah.
because no, it's not that question. No.
As long as my body can take, and as long as I love volleyball, I'll keep playing. But I understand the question. But I think that I could potentially see myself coaching,
Mhm.
um, or being around volleyball, just because I love the sport so much. And at the end of it, if I still am in love with the sport, I would love to stick around it if I can. Um, if not, maybe it would be time for me to do something different and hop into the office, like you said.
Yeah. Uh, Also, like some of these questions you might gonna consider like dumb, but I'm telling you, I don't know too much about volleyball, and I'm just seeing people at the beach playing volleyball, and then in the professional way. So I don't know how many people are coming, how much is coming. The next few generations, either in Romania or in United States. Is it like? Do you see like a lot of people coming trying to join volleyball? And for the ones that are not decided yet, or for the parents that like the sports, or
Mhm.
their kids that wanted to join it, uh, what advice would you give to them, and what are some qualities that they need to possess to play the sport?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, what I would tell them is just get out and play however you can. If you've never played, uh, pick up a ball and start messing around with it with your family. And
Yeah,
it starts as simple as you ever try to keep a balloon up off of the ground, one that's fallen down. It can be as simple as that. And I think that once you start kind of playing volleyball, it's an easy sport to fall in love with. If you can't play, um, watch anything that you can. I think that especially in person, if you can see it in person at a high level, you gain a lot of respect for what some of these athletes can do, how high they can jump, how hard they can hit a ball, and I think it's pretty impressive. And I think that volleyball as a whole is growing around the world. I know, especially in the United States,
yeah,
there's a big effort to grow the game from the men's side specifically, just as it's not the NFLs or the NBAs of our nation, definitely in terms of volleyball,
yeah,
but it's growing, and I think that it's a good thing that
yeah.
it's growing, and
Correct.
hopefully it keeps doing so.
Yeah, correct. And one of my last questions, of course, you might gonna laugh about the questions, but I know some sports they do the training together, the men and the women, and I'm thinking how is the case in volleyball, and if you guys are friends with some of the girls, or they leave you like separate, so you don't have a chance to hang out too much, or maybe, and then not thinking about the game.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, training wise,
Yeah,
the sports are obviously extremely similar. It's the same sport,
yeah,
but the biggest challenge would be that the nets are slightly different heights. So that one would be hard to train. You'd have to decide which height to put the net at. But I think that there can be a lot to learn from the women's game and vice versa. Maybe they could pick some things up from us, and I think it would be a good learning experience. But it doesn't happen. It's
oh, so you guys are separate.
pretty rare if yeah.
No, I was
It's
asking
rare. It's
more
rare.
from a socializing point of view.
Oh, for socializing, at least at Penn State, at my university,
Yeah.
we were close with the women's team just because we used the same training facilities, so we were around each other, got to know each other's teams, and we also supported each other. We'd go to each other's games and cheer them on. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, then, yeah, I'm because I was thinking they got you like too restricted, or it's too open, and sometimes that might gonna affect your game, or I don't want to say like other stuff,
You got to find the right balance.
Yeah, right, correct. Okay, Brett, it was nice talking to you, and thank you again for this opportunity. And I'm not going to keep you longer. And I also thank everybody around you and your family that they let me have this time, you with me, and going to be like with them, like quality time, like family time. And at the end, if you have a message for all the volleyball fans, and especially for the Steaua fans, that you're going to see some of them really soon, and hopefully I could see you soon also in October, if you guys going to play like not one of the games away and too far away, because I might going to come and see you even if you play away, but if it's too far, I don't have too many days.
Yeah. So first and foremost, thanks for inviting me on. It's been fun talking to you, and in terms of the fans and the community, I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait to learn more about the history of the club, and I can't wait to learn more about your culture and kind of really dive into training with the team and bring home some big wins, bring home some rivalry wins, and bring home some championships. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal, and hopefully we're gonna have at least one with you, and maybe even more. And then if you're gonna go to some other team, hopefully you're gonna get to another big step. And I forgot to ask you, in general, what are some other clubs or other leagues that you're like watching up until this point? I'm assuming you never watched Romanian league because it's not that high. But what are some other leagues that you're like watching, and what you think of like going into the near future, or some of your favorites?
Yeah, I think that some of my favorites and kind of like the volleyball community to watch are, of course, the international matches. So the ones that are happening in the Summer Volleyball Nations League. And then other than that, wherever the highest level players in the world are playing, it's kind of where I like to watch, because I enjoy learning or seeing how they play, maybe seeing what they do in their game, if they're playing in Italy or Poland, or if they're playing in France or Germany. If they're playing there, maybe I'll watch them to see if I can learn something from them and bring it into my game now.
Right, yeah. You're actually going to have a Poland colleague, and I already interviewed him by now. Yeah, it's on my channel. So again, Brad, thank you again for this opportunity, and you guys, I'll see you next week with another big guest. And I hope it was a good surprise, and hopefully you guys are going to be there, a lot of you in the stand, and cheer for him and for our team and our club. And like he said, uh, we're going to get a lot of awards and hopefully the championship at the end. And of course, at the end, I'm not going to finish by saying our Let's Go Steaua, but in Romania, it's like Forza Steaua.
There you go.
So see you guys next week.